Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. This video might make your blood boil, and if that happens, seek professional medical assistance. I'm worried for all of you here. The XRP community has dug up a ton of videos, frankly, that highlight malicious intent, bad intent, from many at the SEC, including those at the highest, former SEC Chair Jay Clayton and former SEC Director William Hinman. And so in this video, I'm going to highlight 3 of these clips, and I'm going to give credit where it's due. And what I did is I actually took the time to transcribe the relevant portions, and I'm going to walk you through what they're saying and what it actually means. And I'm telling you, this is absolutely infuriating stuff here. But look, before we go any further, I do want to be clear, I don't have a legal or financial background of any kind. I am not offering legal or financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just a simple little moon Lambo making YouTube videos all up on the internets because it's a fun hobby, but that's all that's going on here, damn it. And if you don't like it, you can just get out, which might be good for you, might save you from heart palpitations. So first clip is an audio clip that was shared on Twitter by my fellow XRP YouTuber, Crypto Eddie. And I've never seen this before, and this is where things get super duper interesting to me. Like, the XRP community is endlessly impressive to me. Like, people are digging up ancient videos, which were made public years ago, but they're hard to find. Like, you have to wade through so much stuff to find relevant clips having to do with the Ripple and XRP and Ethereum, and they've done it, though. Like, you're talking about C-SPAN. Freaking C-SPAN. Who watches that crap? Well, apparently the XRP community. I mean, well, clips of it, right? But I really appreciate it because I know it's a ton of work here. And so we're going back to, in this case, this first audio clip. I don't know exactly when it was recorded, but I mean, it was before Ethereum had a functioning blockchain. And so I'm guessing it was 2014. And so here's a tweet from Crypto Eddie. Researchers who would like to show off their skills and give some last-minute fire to the Ripple team / Hinman deposition go deep into original founder of Ethereum, Anthony Delorio. I'm sure if you tailor your search after November 2013 through 2015, pots of gold. And so this first clip, it highlights a speech from one of the co-founders of Ethereum, Anthony Delorio. I know Vitalik Buterin's the most well-known one, but there were others here. And so check out this. Here's what Ethereum co-founder Anthony Delorio said. When we started Ethereum, we were able to collect $18 million from 9,000 participants all around the world who funded the blockchain of Ethereum, which we did a year later, and they were able to have a piece of that. And so, actually, so like in hindsight, I guess maybe he did. Yeah, so I guess it was launched at this point. My mistake. After I transcribed this, I couldn't remember everything that was in. There was actually quite a bit of information. So so this interview would have been after the blockchain went live. But the pieces of information that I'd never heard before, mind you, this had been public since back whenever it was originally posted, over half a decade ago. $18 million collected by over 9,000 participants all around the world. Now, the SEC made it very clear, in particular in 2017 and into 2018, that initial coin offerings are a no-no. You get in big trouble for that. They say that it's actually no different than selling an unregistered security by any other means. So it falls under the jurisdiction of the SEC, and just because there's new technology that you're funding, it doesn't make it functionally any different. And so here we have Ethereum, which I believe to be the first ICO in the history of the planet. And it wasn't called an ICO back then, but it's the same thing exactly. Ethereum had an ICO, raised $18 million from 9,000 participants all around the world. Now, in referencing how blockchain is changing the way people invest, he said the following. So here's another quote from him. It democratized the ability of the everyday person to say, I believe in this, and I'm going to take the risk, and I'm going to be able to potentially get the gains from this. Couldn't be more clear, right, with a quote like that. And so here's where one of the biggest no-nos comes in here. It's quite simply that Ethereum, the co-founders of Ethereum, all of them, they took money to build something. It did not yet exist. Now, in the case of Ripple, very different. The XRP ledger and XRP, it was created before Ripple, the company, existed. Ripple never had an ICO. Period. They absolutely did not have an ICO. But Ethereum, they went into it, and in fact, it wasn't cited in this clip, but I recall that Vitalik Buterin cited that they set aside $1 million for legal fees in case they should encounter them. Now, we ultimately know that in 2018 they got the golden pass from William Hinman, but still, this is ridiculous here. And so then Crypto Eddie wrote John and tagged attorney John Deaton, who is the attorney that's seeking to intervene in the SEC versus Ripple case, tagged John Deaton and said, "John, this clip might be of use for you." It's one of the original 5 founders of Ethereum. And indeed, I've never heard this clip before, so props for finding this. This is amazing here. And so, and this isn't all. Check out what there's more to share with you here. Here's what John Deaton said about that clip, though. "It is without question or debate that Ethereum started out as, and fit perfectly, the definition of an investment contract, aka security. Way more than XRP ever could. In the clip shared by Eddie, a co-founder admits that Ethereum started as an ICO. They raised $18 million from 9,000 people around the world, and at the time of Ethereum's ICO, the Ethereum blockchain was not yet developed. It was developed 1 year later using the $18 million. Let me pause right here. Keep this point in mind. This is very important because I'm going to share with you comments from Jay Clayton in a moment, and this is of the utmost importance. This specifically, the fact that the Ethereum people, they did take funds from the public. Please keep that in mind because it's going to be highly relevant in just another few minutes or so as I go through this video. And so then John continues here. This exact scenario was shut down by the court in the Telegram case. Mike Novogratz, who, by the way, let me pause here. Mike Novogratz is a billionaire, well-known in the world of crypto. He founded Galaxy Digital, which I think he calls, I can't remember what he calls, like a digital bank or something, but it seems to me basically like a hedge fund. And so Novogratz bought 500,000 Ether, and Vitalik Buterin, another co-founder, Vitalik Buterin stated that without that purchase of Ether, the Ethereum Foundation would not have survived. Vitalik also stopped the exchanges from trading Ethereum on a particular occasion with good intentions. These examples are not representations of decentralization, however. Yes, exactly. And so even if Ethereum today is sufficiently decentralized, it could not be more clear that it was not in the past. But Bitcoin wasn't decentralized when it started. There was one person, Satoshi Nakamoto, or maybe that's technically a group of people. Either way, there's one entity or one person mining the first block of Bitcoin. That's centralization. But as networks build out, they become more decentralized. That's just the nature of this technology in general here. But back then, and I own Ethereum. This is not me saying go after the Ethereum Foundation. This is just me saying that we're not having an equal distribution of justice here. And you got to question why. You really got to question why. Who's motivated to do what? And then John Deaton said the following. Please know that I own Ethereum and I'm very long Ethereum. I don't believe it's a security today, and I certainly don't want the SEC to go after Ethereum. But the truth is that the creation of Ethereum meets the Howey factors even easier than the W.J. Howey Co. met the 4-factor test in 1946. And then he says, read the dissent. Now that is fascinating, is it not? Now remember as much of that as possible as we go forward here because it's relevant. John Deaton also shared the following, and you should note this. William Hinman, former SEC director, he's the one that in the summer of 2018 gave the speech giving Ethereum the golden ticket. It's got the golden pass, and stating that, because he even said in the speech something to the effect of, setting aside any sort of funding mechanism, this or that, today Ethereum is decentralized. And I always say, like, whoa, why are we glossing over that? You said, SEC, William Hinman, that it's not okay for startups to take money to build blockchains and cryptocurrencies. That's what you guys said. But now they get the golden pass. What is this? And so that speech happened on June 14th, 2018. That's an important date, June 14th, 2018. And so John Deaton, referencing that, he wrote later, when Hinman would say the speech was significant because it's the first time we gave guidance, was the we the SEC, or was the we the co-founder of Ethereum? Did he help Hinman write the speech? Or was the we his law firm, a board member of the Ethereum Alliance? And so this is important because William Hinman continues to state that, today anyway, that the speech he gave in 2018 about Ethereum, it was just his own personal thoughts, never intended to be a personal policy of the SEC. Never mind, the day he gave the speech, it went on the website of the SEC, June 14th, 2008. You can find it there today. It went up that day, and other people at the SEC helped him to write this policy, and it was presented as though it was coming directly from the SEC, and that's because it actually was. They were just going back retroactively and saying, no, it wasn't, because they don't want to cement anything. They want to have any policy that they don't have to, because it's their plan to regulate through enforcement. But in this case, they had Bill Hinman go out and do this, give this speech, and you can question why. It makes me suspicious, certainly because we know that William Hinman was paid by his former law firm, Simpson Thacher, millions of dollars while he was a former director at the SEC. Simpson Thacher directly benefited from this policy that was understood as a result of the speech, and the whole world. I was there at the time. I was living in the world of crypto. The whole world was reporting it, and understandably why. It was the case. Ethereum is not a security. The SEC says so. The SEC was well aware of how the markets were responding. They didn't correct it. Of course they didn't correct it. They didn't say, whoa, hold on, this is just old Billy Boy's speech here. We didn't say anything. No, that's not what they did. They were okay with him using the words we and where, okay? They were absolutely aware of how this was being perceived. It was intentional, and now they just don't want what reality to have been what actually happened. And it gets more ridiculous. Check out this. There's this clip, and I'm about to read what I transcribed here. It's Jay Clayton 1 week after Bill Hinman gave his speech. So this is again, the speech was June 14th, 2018. Now you've got Jay Clayton being questioned here on on June 21st, 2018. And so there's this video clip, and John Deaton watched it and he wrote the following. This testimony should infuriate everyone. He testified 1 week after the Hinman speech giving Ethereum clarity. It's been over 3 years since this nonsense testimony. Sorry, one sec. I want to check something. Okay, yeah, we're good. It's been over 3 years since this nonsense testimony. Hester Peirce and Elad Roisman just publicly stated SEC continues to not provide clarity. And I talked about that a couple times in recent videos. Hester Peirce and Elad Roisman, 2 of the 5 commissioners that decide whether or not to bring in complaints, legal complaints, they co-wrote something just complaining that the SEC is not doing what it should to provide sufficient clarity for participants in blockchain and crypto, just in the markets in general, and it's spot on here. And so here's what somebody named Warren Davidson said, and he's posing this question to Clayton, and then I'm going to share with you what Clayton said. Warren Davidson said the following: I think we need to get regulatory certainty. To use an example of folks that have tried to do this, Ripple is just one of the many digital assets that come to mind, and I'm aware there are numerous court cases regarding this company. And so we got to pause right there. Obviously, he was conflating Ripple and XRP. He is aware clearly that even back then there were court cases against Ripple. But when you're talking about a digital asset, of course, what he meant is XRP. It is very commonplace. It was even more commonplace back then to have people conflate the two. So that is, to be clear, what happened right there. But anyway, he continues. Do you think it's prudent for Congress or the SEC to lead the way in clarifying what is a security or a commodity instead of waiting for the courts? And so there you go. He's effectively asking, is it important for the SEC to provide regulatory clarity, Or should we just should you just regulate through enforcement? Now we know the court that the SEC is just regulating through enforcement, letting the courts figure it out, which I think is absolutely reprehensible. It's disgusting. They don't let market participants know what is passable, and just in the SEC's eyes. And then if you misstep, there's no way you're going to know it. The hammer comes down on you, and then others in the space are just supposed to know that based on the outcome of a court case, you can or can't do so and so. Because from the SEC's perspective, that's better than ceding ground that they don't need to give up. That's it. That's the reason. That's what's happening here. Now here's Clayton's response. And again, this is 1 week to the day after Hinman gave his speech giving clarity to Ethereum. So Clayton says the following. So I think, as regulators of the securities market, it's important for us to bring clarity to those markets. I do. But I think we are doing that. We have turned to this space. We have issued guidance. The space is developing. But all of that guidance and our enforcement actions are rooted in a very well-tested approach to the raising of capital in the United States. So let me pause right there. He says that they're doing their job in providing sufficient regulatory clarity. Okay? Now, fast forward 3 years. Do you see what John Deaton wrote there? Hester Peirce and Elad Roisman, 2 of the 5 commissioners that decide whether or not to bring legal complaints, say, no, the SEC is not providing sufficient regulatory clarity. And what's also important, and John Deaton also mentioned this the other day, and I shared it in a video, that there's actually legal consequences for the SEC because they're basically shooting themselves in the foot. And Ripple's legal team absolutely can use this publication from just a couple days ago that's on the SEC's website as ammo against the SEC, effectively, against their legal arguments right now. Anyway, Jay Clayton continues now. I can't be more clear about this. I am not going to advocate for any fundamental changes in the way we raise capital to accommodate the technology. Now the technology can make what we do more efficient, but I'm not going to change the rules because we have a new technology. And so I've always had a problem with this because they're trying to shoehorn new technology into an old framework, and he's just being stubborn. No, we're not going to change a damn thing. But the truth of the matter is that whether or not a cryptocurrency is decentralized is an important factor as to whether or not it would be sold by an entity as a security. It's crucial. And cryptocurrencies can go from decentralized to centralized and vice versa. And so by not allowing, or just acknowledging reality, the fact is that these technologies don't fit into the existing regulatory framework, what you're doing is you're shutting down innovation in the United States, because since every cryptocurrency, almost 100% of them, rare exceptions to this, almost 100% start as centralized, that means that almost 100% start as securities. And so what he's saying here is that we don't want to accommodate for the new technology. We'd rather have the innovation take place in other countries around the world. That's what he's saying. I have a problem with that. I have a serious problem with that. And I'm willing to bet that most of you listening do too. It's not rational. It's not good for innovation in the United States. It absolutely is not. Now, maybe you don't care as much if you're not in the United States, but still, I'm just saying. So then Warren Davison responded to that, and here he said, yeah, fair point. The Howey test has been there, and I appreciate, frankly, Director Hinman last week clarifying that Ether is not viewed as a security. There had been some concern after some of your remarks that everything looks like it fits with the Howey test. And then Clayton responded, because mind you, like he's citing Warren Davidson. He just said, yeah, thank you, fair point. Glad that William Hinman has cited that Ethereum is not a security. And it looks... which is good because, again, we were concerned that pretty much everything was going to look like a security. And then Clayton said the following, because he finished the sentence, when you're raising capital for a project. But it doesn't, when I just read it like that, it doesn't flow. So understand, here's how Warren Davidson ended. This is his last sentence. There had been some concern after some of your remarks that everything looks like it fits within the Howey test, meaning it's a security. And then Clayton said, when you're raising capital for a project. So he's saying, it fits within the Howey test, meaning it's a security when you're raising capital for a project. And he's nodding his head as he's saying that. Clayton is nodding his head saying, yes, it looks like a security when you're raising capital for a project. Well, what the hell did the Ethereum Foundation just do? What the hell did they just do? Are you kidding me? $18 million from 9,000 people? And so right here he says, when you're raising capital for a project, that's exactly what the Ethereum Foundation did on the Ethereum co-founders. And they were given the clear 1 week prior to Jay Clayton saying that. 1 week prior. And they plastered Billy Boy's speech on the SEC website, and it's still there today? Are you kidding me? This is disgusting, right? Like, they just don't give a damn. This is flagrantly unethical, and they just, whatever, they just get away with whatever. That's what they're doing. And then Warren Davidson responded and said, right. As I think you and I agree, certainly many companies have essentially engaged in regulatory arbitrage and used white papers to raise more capital than they could through the existing framework. Well, Warren Davidson, no offense to you, but what you should have done was said, oh, okay, so it fits the Howey test, it's a security then, when you're raising capital for a project. What about the Ethereum co-founders who actually did raise $18 million? Why is Ethereum getting a pass given that's the case? Now, he probably didn't have those facts. He probably didn't know it. I mean, they're only so informed when they're having these lines of questioning, and who knows what else was discussed in a little setting like this. But still, damn. Now, here's the third video. I got all of this is absolutely absurd here. Oh, I want to give credit where it's due. Bank XRP is the one that shared that video with Jay Clayton and Warren Davidson. That is, he's at Bank XRP on Twitter. And then the third video, this comes from Stuart XRP's at XRP_Stuart, which is STUART. And so this video, Miss Tenney, who is a U.S. representative in New York, asked Jay Clayton what the SEC is doing to regulate the crypto space, and he responded as follows. And this is a quote again. I transcribed this. And this one, I absolutely love this one. It's just mind-blowing. Jay Clayton, in the pure cryptocurrency space, and by the way, I still don't know what the hell that means. Could you just say in the cryptocurrency space or the crypto space? What is the pure cryptocurrency space? What's pure? It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, in the pure cryptocurrency space, the examples that people cite are Bitcoin or Ethereum. That's not our jurisdiction. There are issues with those crypto assets, including in the trading and what people use them for. I want to be clear. To the extent that somebody's bringing those assets to a regulated entity of ours, that regulated entity needs to go through the same KYC and AML procedures. That's Know Your Customer and Anti-Money Laundering procedures. It's standard. And then he says, in the token space, I think we've raised the consciousness for the people to understand that these are securities and they need to follow our rules. So let me break down why this is highly consequential. I tweeted about it right here. Because again, here's the first sentence. In the pure cryptocurrency space, the examples that people cite are Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's not in our jurisdiction. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought that you're saying today that the SEC hasn't provided certainty around any cryptocurrency, not Bitcoin and not Ethereum. Today, that's the SEC's official position. Yet right here, Jay Clayton is saying that Bitcoin and Ethereum are not in their jurisdiction. Well, how are Bitcoin and Ethereum not in their jurisdiction if you haven't provided clarity surrounding this? Or is it the case that you did provide clarity and William Hinman provided clarity on June 14th, 2018? Of course you provided clarity. You're just pretending that you're not. And so here's what I wrote. What does Clayton mean? This is me. I'm tweeting to Stuart XRP here. And I wrote, what does Clayton mean in this clip when he says Bitcoin and Ethereum are not in the jurisdiction of the SEC? If they're not, then isn't Clayton providing clarity that Bitcoin and Ethereum are not securities? And then I tagged a bunch of the attorneys in the community, the XRP community, and Stuart XRP wrote back, it's an S-word show. And then attorney John Deaton responded to Stuart and wrote, and after this, the CFTC chairman declared Bitcoin and Ethereum as commodities. So think about this. Jay Clayton, he sits here and he says, Bitcoin and Ethereum not under our jurisdiction. Not under our jurisdiction, meaning they're not securities. Then, after getting the green light from the SEC, the CFTC, which apparently is rather submissive here, says that Bitcoin and Ethereum are not securities. So don't worry about the ICO that Ethereum had. Don't worry about any of this. None of it matters. And so I responded with the following. This is me writing to John Deaton now. How can anyone at the SEC say with a straight face that there is no official SEC position regarding Bitcoin and Ethereum? What would make the position official if not words coming from the guy running the SEC? does it need to physically be etched in stone and displayed on a mantle? And you guys tell me, because if that's what it takes, like, I'll etch it for them. I don't know how to etch crap, but I'll learn how to etch in stone, and I'll put it on the damn mantle. I will put it right on up there if that's what it means. But clearly, this is the official position of the SEC. This is the top guy saying, effectively, because again, they don't have jurisdiction, which means that if they don't have jurisdiction, Bitcoin and Ethereum are not securities. He said it. That is official policy. Are you kidding me? If it's not from the guy that there's no one above him at the SEC. If he can't make it by his own words, so that it's not. I mean, does he have to file a document to himself? He's the freaking boss. Are you kidding me? Like, this is completely absurd here. It really grinds my gears, folks, and it steams my vegetables and it burns my biscuits all at the same damn time. That's too much going on. I can't handle this nonsense. So there we are, and I am very appreciative that the SEC community, I'm sorry, that the SEC community, the XRP community has been digging all of this stuff up, and that's why I want to be sure to give credit also where it is due. I've always said this is really clearly a community effort, and they're seriously digging up some stuff, wading through all of the muck to find these gems of these asshats here, saying stuff that's completely contradictory, and that's why I started the video by saying, like, there's malicious intent here. Because they went, think about this. So they'll think about everything I just covered in this video and then think, oh yeah, we're going to go after Ripple and XRP though. Think about that. That is what they did. Repulsive, disgusting. They harmed investors of XRP to the tune of billions of dollars globally, and they don't care. In fact, they're pretending like they're not the ones that caused the problem. Ridiculous. I'll go ahead and wrap up there though. I am not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.